After a close 21-16 loss away from home to Maryland, the now 1-4 Duke Blue Devils return home with a bye week next on the calendar, which should give them plenty of time to think about what went wrong in College Park. This is the Chronicle's Nick Schwartz with Jacob Levitt. We're back in Durham after the trip from Maryland. There's a lot to pick apart after this game, Jacob. What jumps out at you first?
Really the way that Duke got off to a great start. Duke actually had a chance to win this game early in the first quarter, made some mistakes later. They still had a chance to win it at the end. They just couldn't put it away. Really outplayed Maryland, just didn't do what they needed to do to get the W.
Coach Cutt did say midweek before the game that it was going to take Duke's best football to beat the Terrapins, and they really were an underdog for this game. Given Maryland's 3-1 record, they had already beaten a really tough team in Navy. But Duke did come out swinging, and they probably should have put a lot of points on the board in the first half, and they just weren't able to do it.
Right, 4 trips into the red zone, 3 field goals, 1 interception. That interception set up Maryland for a late touchdown, brought them within 2 points. Duke had dominated to that point, but the scoreboard didn't show it.
Sean Renfrey's accuracy had been called into question a lot, especially after the game against Army, in which he really just kind of looked lost out there on the field. He was hot and cold against Maryland. At times, he looked unstoppable. He was finding Austin Kelly. He was finding Connor Vernon, and especially Donovan Varner, with tons of space on the field. And then you get to the red zone, and it's a different story. But having to throw the ball 56 times isn't really conducive for a high completion percentage.
No, absolutely not. Coach Cutcliffe even said after the game that of Sean Renfrey's performance, it's tough to be a quarterback when you don't have a running game. Duke really didn't have much going for it.
Desmond Scott didn't have a huge game. Jay Hollingsworth didn't have a huge game. Josh Sneed had a few good runs. I believe he had a 24-yard dash. That might have been the longest run of the game for the Blue Devils. He's a real change of pace back, and when that power game isn't running, he does give Duke an option that it hasn't really had before.
Right. I agree. Sneed definitely has shown some potential. He's just a true freshman. Another true freshman, Brandon Kinnett, also adds another dimension to Duke's running game. When he's on the field with Sneed, they can sort of do a little option thing. But it's really about the fact that despite the lack of running game, Duke did have an opportunity to drive for the win in the closing minutes.
Renfrey engineered 2 drives in the fourth quarter that really showcased his talent. Early in the fourth, he marched right downfield and eventually scored on a Brandon King 2-yard pass after Donovan Varner's 36-yard pass was ruled down at the 1. Then came the defining drive of the game. Duke down 5, 4 minutes left, ball on their own 19. Renfrey slings completions to Vernon, to Brandon Braxton, to Austin Kelly, brought it to around the 30-yard line with around a minute and 30 left, and then we have the drop.
Right, on 2nd and 15, Renfrey really hits Varner right in the hands. He's open over the middle. He has a shot to get into the end zone, but certainly enough for the first down and a big play. And Varner just was looking upfield before he had the ball, dropped it, and then we bring up a 3rd and 15, really tough situation.
Yeah, Duke decided to really go for it all on 3rd and 15. They threw it to Connor Vernon in the corner of the end zone. He was double covered. There really wasn't any chance for a completion. 4th and 15, game on the line. Duke's offensive line does a great job, gives Renfrey time to throw, and he finds Austin Kelly over the middle, but Antoine Perez, who was all over the place, hit Kelly right as he caught the ball. Timed the hit perfectly. There's no chance for Kelly to make the catch. With Duke only having 1 timeout left, there's a minute on the clock. Maryland just need the ball down. It's game over, and now Duke's 1-4.
Right. I really think that Coach Cutt could have called something different on that 3rd down, because you know it's 4-down territory. You can go short over the middle or something, and then try to get a 4th and short. But that as it is, we see Duke follow 1-4, not putting together the opportunities it's given. They score in the first quarter more, maybe they put the game away then, get the crowd out of it, but as is, they're sort of left to look at the bye week, and then they've got a tough game against Miami coming to Durham.
There were a few positives. Well, there were a lot of positives that we could take out of this game. The defense played much better.